What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the EU4 Always at War simulation. The first sort of episode did really well, so we're bringing it back. I think I set like a goal of 5 likes. Got, I think, not a good start. 15. Got 15. There we got there in the end. I think I got 15 anyway. So that's 3 times what we needed. So we'll go again. We'll do another 50 years today. Just see what sort of chaos unfolds. Really, just see what happens. But yeah, really happy that you guys enjoyed this so much, because it means it's something I can do more of in the future. So yeah, we'll get right into it, and I'll probably hop back in sort of every, a good period of years. I don't know how the last episode managed to be 25 minutes out of, I recorded for an hour. So I don't know how it ended up being 25 minutes, but there you go. I must talk a lot more than I think I do. But here we go. We'll just hit play and let it all just continue into chaos. Okay, so 5 years in to this stint anyway of the game. Ajuran did rise up in northeast Africa, but they've since died again to Ethiopia. Jolof has managed to get over here somehow and kill the Congo, or actually Ndongo, but what they've got is called Congo. I think they're quite high on the Great Powers list. Provence is breaking into North Africa. Morocco is having a resurgence in Egypt. Mogadishu's doing very well to hold on here, because this looks like a complete mess of a region. Up here, you can see Adoyev maybe just starting to become a big nation here that could survive potentially. You've got the Khmer in Scandinavia. That's very, very unexpected. But there we go. That was obviously what used to be Cambodian Russia. Has sort of travelled up there. England, noticeably, have fallen off the Great Powers list. Or are they back on? No, they are off of it at the moment. Ming sits at the top. Provence in second. Franconia, which is the new Italian nation, in third, and they're doing quite good, but they do now border Provence. Flanders has come back. Ingolstadt has lost a lot of France. Hizin Kaifa still has quite a bit of France. Orissa rising up here as well. Oh, Adoyev just broke up, so never mind. The Bamanis have a lot of random stuff, but I don't think they're that good overall. Over here, it looks like Ava may be on the way down. Are they no longer a great power? Nope. Kashmir is now up there, though, in 5th. So we'll see how that goes. Japan was also on the list. Oh, and Japan and Ming are starting to conquer anyone they can get to out here as well. And I'm assuming at some point, obviously it's a bit early, but soon we'll start to see some, or by the end of today, we'll probably see some colonization, which is going to make things very interesting in this sim, because obviously the Aztecs, the Apache, and the Inca are still natives, but they're much stronger than they would normally be when the Europeans are. Oh my goodness, Jolof, this is incredible. What if they win? That would be amazing. Ethiopia just climbed into 3rd place. Orissa is climbing up as well up here. So there you go. I'm surprised they're in 3rd, but I guess this is highly developed stuff, so fair enough. And I'm surprised the Khmer is not even on the list. But there we go, whatever. Somehow Japan and Ming are not at war, but soon that's going to change. I don't know if that will tip the tide. Ming is starting to dip into India despite fighting all these people. I mean, if you were to go purely by land area, you'd say it's sort of similar size, so that's not the way to do this. But, maybe if Japan was to somehow, border Ming, then maybe things would change, they'd get stretched a bit more. Japan does look pretty strong. That could make things quite interesting. And just out of curiosity, biggest military is probably smaller than you'd usually expect, because obviously everyone's just dying all the time. Manpower's pretty low for a lot of these countries. I feel like that's why some of them are going to have cycles of wealth, but some countries you don't have to use their manpower as much. Japan there. Maybe in a better position. But yeah, Ming leads the way at the moment for total military. Then Ethiopia, Japan, Jolof, the Aztecs up there actually. So there you go. Obviously technology is not factored into that number, so it's nothing special. But there you go. Mogadishu has left former Ottoman territory. Vijayanagar is now here amongst Wallachia. Andra's still hanging around. Sweden is down here as well, and Poland. And they've moved up into Lithuania, so fair enough. Fair enough. Baluchistan starting to emerge in sort of Austria-Hungary. Franconia still growing. Chile is here as Provence is still going. Flanders, they're all still around. Hormuz. But we're starting to see some bigger blobs emerge in Europe, which will make things quite interesting, at least in Western Europe. And what the heck? Okay, well, the Malwa were killing the Khmer, and then all of a sudden Byzantium has turned up here in Scandinavia. Okay. Okay, game. Cool. I don't know how they got there, but we'll live with it. Some countries are living in idyllic peace right now. I think the Inca might be one of those. Oh no, they've got a few. Who are these people? I don't know. Someone's just started grabbing this stuff. I think someone from the Caribbean. We're starting to see some very random countries that pick colonial ideas, which is fair enough. But Jolof, for example, It does look like they border someone, but it's the wasteland, so they don't actually border anyone. So they're living a nice, peaceful existence. And then there's this country somewhere. I can't find them again. But I mean, you saw that there. I think the one... Oh, it's these guys. Like, look at this. Very different for them. I mean, to be fair, they're getting bigger, so credit to them. But that is messy. Oh, and Ethiopia's starting to grow as well. And Ava made a bit of a comeback recently too. Oh, Franconia is falling, and it's happening so quickly. Poland has arrived, and it's just sweeping it up. I'm pretty sure you get the province as soon as you walk into it. You don't have to peace out or anything. That's how this sort of works. That's why you see the one province is sort of switching over at a time. So if you occupy it, you get it. If you siege the fort, you get it. That sort of thing. So yeah, Poland just very quick. Obviously, they had no military left, and boom. It just I don't even see any Franconian units. There's nothing with that flag, so... Oh, there's an 8 stack there, but that's about it. Yeah, they're in big trouble. Flanders has also risen up a little bit, and we'll keep an eye on Provence. I don't know if their second place is as solid as it used to be. Well, it isn't, because they've dropped to 4th, and oh my goodness, with the help of the institutions, so not so much, Ethiopia has overtaken Ming with all of the Arabian Peninsula, most of Persia, and the East African coast, and they did just kill off Butua pretty quickly. They are not in Madagascar. That is just an identical blue colour. Don't worry, they're not there yet. Oh, and also Ming has been kicked out of Malaya by Brunei. So maybe Ming is in trouble. Actually, yeah, look, Ava's conquered all of southeast, sort of Bangladesh. I don't want to get this wrong, but some countries here. It's Thailand, this one. And then, I can't remember. Bangladesh is here, so we'll go with that. Well, it's not quite done, actually. Franconia has sort of emerged into Savoy, sort of Burgundy territory here. From the base sort of start, but there we go, that's it for them. Poland has arrived in Italy, and England's made a landing in Provence, so maybe England will have another bit of a rise. Flanders does, I don't know if they're doing better or worse. I think they're going upwards, but then they're getting eaten at the bottom. The Free Leagues has emerged, and as you can see, Orissa still climbing. I think they are, yeah, they're 3rd right now on the Great Powers list. Flanders is also on there. You can see Franconia just dying off. I've never even heard of them, so it was cool to have them briefly. Ottoman territory is a mess, but you would imagine Ethiopia will have an advantage in that sort of area now. Okay, right. Oh, we didn't pause. Okay, that didn't work. But things have changed a little bit, just a little. Who is this? Swedish Balkans. Okay, Hormuz is growing. Mogadishu's still doing well here. Silly. Who is that? Oh, Yarkand. Okay. Oh, Orissa died. Well, that's a shame. They were doing well. Poland is emerging. They probably are quite high. They've killed Flanders a bit. Provence, though, had a bit of a return in North Africa. England not doing as great. Ethiopia, though, dang, they took all of Anatolia and are pushing through these mountains. The Caucasus, there we go. I definitely didn't forget that and scroll in just to check. Pasai is doing actually pretty good here. Pegu's pretty big. Bit of a stalemate still here. I don't think they're at war with Japan yet, so yeah, they've avoided each other somehow. Fair enough. Jollof and Ethiopia still have not met, or not been able to fight each other. So there we go. But things definitely changing. I don't know who's the best right now. It's 15:27. We're going at a quicker pace than expected, so don't worry. We'll go beyond. We'll probably get to like 15:60 or 70 or 80 maybe. I don't know. We're going quite fast. Ethiopia leading the way now. Only not on overall development, but because they have the institutions of 50% advantage. Ming might fall to 200% behind, so we might see them drop even further down this list potentially. But there's Poland then in 3rd, who is now Italy and sort of parts of France. Provence is still up there from Iberia. Ava in India. England are back up there to 6th. I'm not sure they've actually done anything, but oh no, they've got a little bit of land in sort of the Netherlands. Kashmir is southern India, and then Pasai is the giant nation sort of in Persia, which the Ottomans have actually, Ethiopia has lost this Persian territory, and I think we're starting to see some of these countries colonize, right? Is that admin, defensive? I don't know. Somebody probably is, and then someone else is just stealing it. That's probably what's happening. I think the mod is geared to make the countries, not civs, too many games, the countries choose like war focusing idea groups, so they won't all be. I've seen a few countries go economic, but a lot of it will be focused towards doing better at war. They won't pick they specifically won't pick the ones that are not really war related. Also, I just want to appreciate, look how fast it's going on speed 5. I love this. This is my dream. It's gonna really ruin me when I tried to play the game, because before I used to play in speed 5 and it was a bit fast, but when nothing was going on, it was okay, right? When we weren't at war and stuff, it was an okay speed. Also, Ethiopia is getting cut in half here. What is going on? That's what happens. You get too stretched out. You just get torn apart. It hasn't happened to Ming yet, though. And Provence is getting bigger, which is interesting. But yeah, it's lovely how fast it's going. But I can't really... it's too unreasonable now to play the game at this speed. We could sort of watch it and get through stuff at this speed, but I can't really play it. But that's okay. Okay, we're into 1540, not too... But a lot has changed. I just can't really tell what's changing. Ethiopia is no longer the peak of their powers. They've got little gaps emerging, but they're not dying. It looks like Poland could be struggling as well. In Italy, Provence starting to now own a lot of France as well. So they're clearly in second place, I believe. Oh, no. Nope, Ethiopia. Sorry, I forgot Ethiopia. They're not that bad. Although Sakalava is emerging from Madagascar. It's very hard to tell that they're different, but they are. There we go. You can see they're a bit smaller. But we've also got Malwa, a new sort of powerful country. They're currently, I think they're 8th in the Great Powers. Maybe they're climbing. Nope, they're still sat in 8th. They might, become a sort of Russia kind of nation, but they will have to fight Ming as well. Pasai sort of dropping. Looks like Ethiopia's going to emerge. Oh, Provence formed France. Okay, well, wasn't expecting that to happen, but there we go. France is now 3rd in the game, and they're back. Fair enough. I guess the other France was just dead, so made sense. They owned all the provinces. Japan is at war with Ming, though, and they are having a lot of success. You can see what they've done here. They've conquered all of Malaya. Ming did get it back, but now they've lost it again to Japan. And you can see they've also made a pretty good invasion of Korea up here. So, I mean, Japan need to not border too many people. They need to be really smart. Like, they've bordered these guys who shouldn't be too tough, but, just try not to border any of the big Indian countries. Focus on Ming until you have, like, loads of Ming. But it does look like Ming are getting smaller, although they do now have about 1/3 of India. Divide it up into a sort of 3 equal-sized pieces. They've got about 1/3 now. Poland, though, while France... Okay, France is huge. Never mind. Provence is doing big things. But Poland is stretching into the Balkans and borders Ethiopia. So they are... I feel like that is not a sandwich. Poor old Poland. Wherever they are, wherever you put them on the map, they just get sandwiched between 2 of the other superpowers. They just can't win. Oh, and also the Aztecs died. I forgot to mention that just then. But the Apache finally managed to get a border and conquered all of that. So maybe it's gonna be between them and the Inca, I guess, in the Americas, unless someone comes and colonizes at some point, which could well happen. Or they will eventually do it, I guess. If not, I don't know. Is anyone going for exploration? Somehow England only has admin ideas 4. That is so bad. France has 13 ideas. How do you have 4 ideas? I do feel we're getting towards that. Outside of Europe, we're getting to a point where there's very few. I think there's less than maybe 15 or 20 countries outside of what you'd consider to be Europe. There's 3 in the Americas. There's like 2 in Africa, depending on if you count Ethiopia. Obviously they're partly in Europe now, but Joloff's the only one, and these guys, that's 2 sort of independent countries in Africa, and Jollof is now at war with France, which could go well if they're not ready, or really badly. There's 4 or 5, 6 maybe left in Asia. But that's about it, really. And then you have Europe. So I think we're starting to see it blob out. I think we could get to a point where eventually there's maybe only 20, 30 left in the whole world. And they're all just giant blobs fighting each other. I think we will eventually, assuming the PC can handle it, get down to, 1 or, a couple left. It may be an endless stalemate. But, if one's bigger than the other, you'd think eventually they would win. Also, Ming is just disgusting right now. Japan has been kicked out of Korea, but they somehow got into Mongolia and kept going around here. I don't know what's going on. They're still down here. Kashmir is pushing back as well. Yeah, Ming is messy. It's messy, but I don't know if they're really losing. They've certainly been dragged down. You can see they're now 4th and 5th in the world, although both are hit pretty heavily, as well as Kashmir, by the institutions. I think they would go into... Ming would be 2nd. They would be behind Ethiopia, but Japan would be 4th, so they don't climb up 1. And in fact, they wouldn't be 4th because Ming's climbed. So no, Japan would not change, but never mind. Malwa still growing, somehow only 8th. Why won't this go away? There we go. Malwa still growing though. France is actually losing a lot of France to Poland, but they have a lot of random other territory. But yeah, even Europe's starting to blob out. Now it's mostly just a little bit here in like Germany, and then Eastern Europe's still a mess. Scandinavia's a mess. But yeah, I mean, Western Europe, England, France, Poland, that's pretty much all that's left. Also, just to note, as obviously you don't see how long recording this has taken, we have reached 1550 and passed it, which was the goal for an hour of recording, in only 29 minutes. So we'll probably get to 1600, which is great. I don't know how the last one was so slow. I think I just paused quite a lot more. And I focused on a lot of small things and didn't realise how trivial they would be, when 5 years later, neither country even existed anymore. We've learned now, focus on the big things. Don't want to alarm any of our Inca fanboys, but the Caribbean Jewjoy... Oh, no, they're dying. Never mind. Okay, that was just the name of the province. I thought that was a really cool name. Never mind. Okay, never mind. Yeah, the Inca should beat these guys. Never mind. They were losing. They just obviously were up here or something. But yeah, the Inca will probably beat them. It probably takes like 5 years to walk across South America, the rainforest. A lot of it's wasteland. You got to go around. So I wouldn't get your hopes up on anything happening too quickly there. Well, France is dying. Poland breaking into Iberia and emerging as a European superpower. And probably the first, and to be honest, probably the only one we're going to get. I guess Malwa will be the other one, because they're here in Eastern Europe. Unless someone else very quickly unites the rest of this, I think Poland will have a good time. Obviously, they're fighting a lot of people. This is also still France, so they're probably going to grab that as well. Ethiopia somehow lost some stuff to France. Ming has recovered. Oh, wait, nope, sorry. I spoke well too soon. Ming recovered over here, but Japan has made a huge offensive in the northeast again. So never mind, Japan is winning again. And Delhi, though, is struggling against Ming. It is a complete... What the heck? Where did Delhi arrive? I think this was who was... I've already forgotten their name. This is so bad. They began with a K. They were here a minute ago. I keep thinking... I was going to say calamari, but that's octopus, isn't it? That's a type of food. I don't know. They began with a K. I've forgotten what they were called. Sorry. Ava has sort of moved into Persian territory, but I mean, they've had a really interesting game, just moving around. France is having some success against Jollof. Oh my goodness, Ethiopia killed everyone down here. Okay, fair enough, including Jollof's territory. Sulu has emerged in Madagascar. Yeah, Delhi is in trouble. So Ming is at least gaining India, but they have lost the east coast, which is probably some of the best land. So that's not great. And oh my goodness, Poland, did not take long at all. Well, this is the grossest font I have ever seen from Ming. Oh, okay, there we go, fixed itself. They are now primarily in... Okay, no, Ming, Delhi. They came back in Southeast Asia. But as you see, Japan, I thought that would be the big thing, and they've come through. So I'm glad I got one prediction right. I say that Japan is actually dying in Japan to some natives from Chamchatska, however you pronounce it, that part of Russia. But I'm sure they will come back for it, although losing their capital would be a big blow, which is not too far away. But yeah, Japan's got much bigger stacks, so they should go back for this. Sure, yeah, they are going back. So we'll probably see Ming grow again while Japan deals with this. But yeah, Ming now has India, so that's interesting. Here is the scoreboard at 1565. Poland well out in front, Ming in second, Ethiopia third, Japan in fourth. Everyone's embraced all the institutions. Malwa is now fifth. France is still kicking about in sixth. I have no idea how they're sixth now with that kind of development. All they have is a little bit of the Baltics, a bit of Germany, and a bit of Africa, but fair enough. England sit in seventh because I think all the other blobs that were bigger than them have just died. They've not actually done anything. And Ava is still hanging around, but this area is starting to get really just big countries now everywhere. Yeah, I think Japan may have screwed it, because I think Chukini, or Chavchaveni, sorry, now has all of their Japanese land, which is a lot of their development. They're fighting Delhi and Malwa as well, so I think Japan, I think I jinxed them when I said I finally predicted something right, and we saw, of course, I missed what was going on. So yeah, I think Japan will die to Ming. Ming might have a bit of a comeback. Malwa could get all of it as well, which would be quite interesting. Maybe these guys will just keep on going as well. Chavchaveni, they can just become the new Japan. You know, they've set back a few years because they won't have all this territory, but you know, maybe they'll just attack Ming next. But Ming is slowly eating Delhi as well. And Poland is just tearing up all of this territory. They are going after Ethiopia now. Oh my goodness, they are on a roll. Never mind, Japan came through clutch against Ming. I have no idea how. They don't own Japan, but I mean, what does it matter? Like, right, really? Do you need to own your own territory? I mean, Poland is on their way to getting it back. France is just not in the right place at all anymore. Although they've managed to keep going in completely separate areas of the map. They're doing fine in Africa. And then, yeah, they're doing okay up here as well, as sort of a Prussia kind of country now. Just bizarre stuff. Poor old Jollof. Looks like they're going to be gone soon. But yeah, Europe, a few minutes ago I was saying, oh yeah, there's still 30 countries left in Europe or so. It's the most here. It'll probably take the longest to blob out, and then boom, Poland just took everything. They're already pushing Ethiopia out of Anatolia. There is some gaps. Hungary is there. Genoa is still around, or they just lost some islands to Aragon, not Poland, but there we go. But yeah, Poland is growing and could be concerned. We'll see what Malwa can do against them. I don't know if they're any stronger than France was. They're probably not. But Malwa is here in 5th, so there's hope. Japan now up to 2nd. Who is Bhutan, and how have they got into 7th? I don't even know where you are. Oh, that's these guys. Well, okay, fair enough. I feel like the standards of that Great Powers list are slipping, as there is probably only about 15, 20 countries left. You can have a little look. What's this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's 14 on the page. So there's probably about 3 pages there. So that's 28. There's about 40 countries left right now. A little look at the religion map mode just for fun. Catholicism pretty dominant in Europe and everywhere. I think the religion just spreads with the owning country here just based on how quickly it's going. There's none of the stripy lines. Sunni, pretty popular across Russia and into Scandinavia. A little bit of Coptic in Scandinavia. I think that is because, who is it? Oh, Riga, I think, is still in those provinces. Bit of Hindu in the top there. Confucian is pretty popular now in India. Shinto now the main religion across China. Tengri up there in the north. A bit of Coptic in the Middle East as well from Ethiopia. And Animist, pretty popular. Totemist, doing quite well as well. Not sure I want to click the culture map mode, but here we go. Polish is most of Europe. English still in England. Occitan in this region of Africa. Pretty messy still in this area of the world. There's not been any colonists just yet. Amhara, across sort of Ethiopia's empire. Jianghuai from Ming. Togoku, which I think is what was Japan. Malvi from Malwa. Tigray is emerging here. Oh, Medjugorje Bari are actually that country. Sorry, I got that wrong. You got Kamchatkan. Just some of the bigger culture groups. Filipino is... Wait, what? Is Ethiopia dying? Yep, Sulu is emerging. Fair enough. Good job, guys. Sulu has now become a great power. That is... And they're above England. That's fantastic. Somehow Medjugorje Bari is not. I don't know what... Scandinavia must suck. I don't know how. How are you not above England? I don't know. I guess England's pretty good, but France is still kicking around, and they're tiny. Like, come on. Okay, maybe not. Look at this. Never mind. France is playing a role in the destruction of Ethiopia, although Poland has definitely played a big part in that as well. Ming is now purely just in India. We have Japan. Why is the red countries doing so well? Japan has most of what Ming was, but they don't have Japan, so they are basically what Ming was. And Malwa is sort of spread around very randomly. I feel like they've got to fight the most people. I guess they're more... Ethiopia's probably got the hardest time, but Malwa's got the most over the biggest distance. I mean, Poland has kind of cleared it out, assuming no one navally invades them. I don't know who they're at. Are they fighting Britain? They are. But this is like EU4 Germany doing well on steroids. Crazy stuff from Poland. And the collapse of Ethiopia is here. It was coming. Loads of new countries here filling in. Ottomans have returned. Ava, Sulu. There's still bits of Ethiopia kicking around. France is gaining a lot of it, although they have a lot of rebels. Poland now with all of North Africa and pushing into Persia. And they're fighting Malwa now here. Medjugorje Bari, though, is invading them in Denmark. So will they be overstretched? Ming, though, is now collapsing at the hands of Japan that still don't own Japan. How long can that go on for? I don't actually... They might have peaced out. I don't know if they stop bordering each other. Did they immediately peace out? I'm not really sure. Because there are definitely some countries that are really far apart that are still at war. So I don't know if there's a time criteria. Poland v England's the example. I don't know if England has actually since broken in. I don't know if they can maybe declare their own separate wars. You know, Poland... I think in theory, like, Poland could fight England, you know, without bordering them. I don't know if that's how it works or not. No, I missed... Oh, I paused, alright, and it did the autosave thing, so it didn't work, and then it just kept going to the 13th of January, but we got pretty close. 1600, 100 years. Only actually took 48 minutes, which is fantastic. That means we'll probably be done by the end of next week, because I'm doing a couple a week. So that's perfect, or if I don't get anything else ready, we'll get more. But here we go. Here you can see there is not many countries left at the age of 1600, the world's age, I don't know, 1600, what am I trying to say? England! Still kicking around, just doing nothing in 8th place. Medjugorje Bari finally climbing into 7th with that, sort of grabbing Denmark mainly, but also fighting Malwa, although I don't know if they're winning or losing that. They might be losing. France still in 6th with their stuff in Africa. not so much left in Europe. So I don't know how they're sixth, to be honest. I guess it is a lot, but half of this is wasteland. They do have one province here, but that can't be it. I don't know how they're still up there. Maybe they'll drop off. I don't know. But Poland is coming for them either way. Ethiopia's still fourth. Okay, what? I'm confused. Okay. Maybe this is just not on much development. I guess maybe they're developing their provinces pretty heavily. Ming's still sitting fifth, and I guess they somehow got over here again. Don't ask me how, they just did, but for the most part, they're pretty much dead to this Japan. Ethiopia is actually above Ming, so that shows you it doesn't take much to be in anything other than the top three here, which is obviously Malwa, Japan, and then Poland. And I think Malwa will obviously die first out of those three because they have to fight both Japan and Poland. Japan and Poland do not have to fight each other just yet, even if they have other things to do. And I imagine, look, I think we're going to go till the last one. It does depend who conquers who, right? Because in terms of the development, it's pretty exponential from the right. If you were to do a bar graph here, it's shooting up, you know, from 400. The next bar's a tiny bit higher, not even a noticeable. Then there's a big, you know, jump, just under 50% jump to France. There's a big 30% jump here. Little jump again to Ethiopia. Another huge jump to Malwa, and then boom, 4 times bigger to get, or not 3 times, sorry, towards Japan. And again, you know, another 50% bigger towards Poland. So, you know, England's bar, if you did a bar chart, you'd hardly even see the England one compared to the Poland one at the end. So, probably Poland are the favourites, but it just depends. You know, if Japan gets all of Asia, you never know what could happen. It could be quite interesting. I don't know if colonies will come into it as well, if Japan gets to the New World quicker, or someone does, although no one has yet colonized, so that might not be the case for a while, I'm afraid. But there we go, that is it for this episode. As always, if you have enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and a comment down below. I won't set you a target today, but thank you so much for watching this far. Be sure to turn on notifications. Nearly forgot. Be sure to turn on notifications if you're already subscribed, and I'll see you in the next one.